Hello and welcome to We Random, episode 77, recording live on May 10th, 2022. This is the random podcast where Brian and I just talk about, random stuff that shows up on our wheel, and Brian will give you a little bit more information on that. But first, got to start off with a little joke, and this one comes especially from Emily. So thank you for this one, Emily. B, do you know why you can't sue anyone if you fall in your own driveway?
Because I'm blind.
Because it's your own asphalt. Your own asphalt. Yeah, baby. Love it. We'll be right back after this.
Almost Qualified Productions.
Let's get crazy!
Experts don't have this much fun.
Welcome to We Random, episode 77, or the Marcio Latte edition, as I call it. All of two people are going to understand that, and I'm one of them.
Not me.
I'm Landmark. That's Skonzii.
Hey, what's up?
Say hello to our wonderful people, Skonzii.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in.
So, to smarten everybody up, Marcio Latte is one of the Milwaukee Wave players who wears number 77, and that is the episode that we are on today. So we are here. This is hopefully not going to become the open shirt edition of We Random, but it's hot in my house, so you never know. But we're here today to spin that wonderful wheel of doom. We're gonna see where it goes. If it stops, we're gonna get mad online, and then we're gonna continue our birthday bonanza draft from last week. So before we jump into that stuff, and before we jump into our positive point, what do you got for the people today, Skonzii?
I got nothing. I got nothing, B.
I
I have my finger on the button waiting to push the fancy button. I was caught off guard.
All right. Well, if you are ready, I am ready. Let's move to the
positive point.
It's still very quiet.
Yeah, I need to jack up the audio on that guy.
So today's positive point is a little bit of a sore subject considering recent events, but we are going to talk about the Giannis Mural, a larger-than-life mural for a larger-than-life person. The giant Giannis Antetokounmpo mural in the 600 East building in downtown Milwaukee is officially completed. The artist behind the mural, Mauricio Ramirez, said that it will be a symbol of pride for the city. The mural stands at 3 stories high and took more than 100 hours to complete. So I thought that this was kind of interesting just because I like art, right? And this is a very interesting artistic expression, right? This guy painted like a giant mural of Giannis on this building. And I actually listened to an interview with him, and he was talking about I just kind of eyeball it. And then I've got a drone that if I need to zoom out and figure out where I'm at, I send the drone up, and then the drone takes a picture of it so I know what I need to do. I just thought this was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I think it's and we've talked about Giannis a couple different times. I think that it's cool. He's obviously a huge part of Milwaukee, and Milwaukee has really taken him in, and he's really taken in Milwaukee, and I just think it's great. I think it's a really cool thing that we've got going on here, and recognizing him in that way, I think it's super cool.
That is awesome. Well, that is your positive point for the day. So now we're going to move to the portion of the program where we get mad online. So, Skonzii, what do you say that we just move on ahead to our anger?
All right, I'm going to spin the wheel. Just so you know, the topics listed are wrong. I'm going to check those. I'm updating them right now. Bear with me.
Wrong.
Well, we're spinning. And we're going to start with Georgia profiling, B. What is that all about?
Well, I guess we're going to be getting mad online about the state of Georgia. So, we are going to talk about April 20th of 2022. On that date, the Delaware State University women's lacrosse team began their journey home from a match in Georgia when officers from the Liberty County Sheriff's Office pulled over their bus. The officers alleged the bus driver was incorrectly driving in the left lane and asked the driver to step off of the bus. Officers asked players to admit if there were drugs on board and stated they'd be searching the bus, including player suitcases. An officer was seen on a cell phone video saying, "If there is something there that's questionable, please tell me now. Because if we find it, guess what? We're not going to be able to help you. In the state of Georgia, marijuana is still illegal." The head coach, Pamela Jenkins, said almost everyone on board the bus was African American and called the incident racial profiling. In response to the allegations, Liberty County Sheriff William Bowman said he conducted an internal affairs investigation. Bowman said the officers did everything by the book and also shared body cam footage of the incident. In the video, officers explained that while the bus was initially pulled over for the traffic stop, the officers had their rights to bring out their canines and conduct a, quote, clear air sniff, which alerted them to the luggage compartment, prompting a search. The officers did not find anything during their search. So
Shocked.
this was kind of something that I saw on Twitter, and like I didn't really see a whole lot of reaction either way to it, but I thought that this was interesting. And yes, I did look up the law because I am that person. So there is technically a law in Georgia that says that buses cannot drive in the left lane unless XYZP for whatever reason. I don't know why this is a law, but apparently it's a law. But like I don't know that we can ever prove that this is racial profiling, but there's definitely some kind of profiling going on. They're like, hey, we see a bus. We're going to mess with these people, see what we can find.
Well, I mean,
what are your thoughts, Skonzii?
It goes from we're pulling you over because you're driving in the wrong lane to, hey, we have some weird reason that we want to check all of your stuff.
Right.
Which is sketchy to begin with, right? Like that alone is very, very sketchy. When you add on to that the fact that this was pretty much everybody involved on the bus was a black individual. The cops, from what I could see in the pictures that were shared in the article, were white. Even if you go beyond that, the thing that I found very distressing is these are young ladies, right? These are college women, and these men are going through their luggage, going through their unmentionables, I think is the word that people like to use, like their underwear and stuff, their feminine products, like the stuff that you have no goddamn business messing around with, and they're chucking this stuff around as they're going through stuff. Like, even if let's just go on the way far side and say, even if this wasn't profiling, like they were complete dicks about what they did anyway. And then the fact that they give off the excuse that, oh, well, the dog gave us a hit, so we needed to check everything. It's bullshit. Like, they just make that shit up left and right anyway. Like, everything about this stinks.
Yeah, this reminded me of the Jay-Z song where he's like, glove compartment's locked, so is the trunk in the back. You gonna need a warrant for that. Right? Like, like they're trying to pull something, and it like, it's just frustrating that this kind of stuff happens, right? That they're just trying to pull stuff out here. Like, again, if this dude is driving in the wrong lane, pull him over. Hey, man, you're doing stuff in the wrong lane. Like, make sure we know you're not from around here or whatever, because your plates are Delaware or whatever. Just make sure you're driving the right lane. But no, they can come on the bus and be like, we gotta look at your suitcase because we think you got marijuana. What? Like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Should we play the drop for them?
I think it's fair. The wee random dick of the week. Yep, I think they are very, very deserving. I agree.
All right. Well, we didn't get that mad online about that one. So what do you say that we move to our next topic?
I'm spinning. I got too many things that I'm trying to do at the once. I can't get mad just yet. We're gonna talk about Austin, Texas. You would think this is going to be some bad stuff, but maybe this is good stuff. I don't know.
Who knows? Under a year-long $1 million pilot program that cleared a key city council vote, the city of Austin, Texas, plans to send monthly checks of $1,000 to 85 needy households at risk of losing their homes. This is an attempt to insulate low-income residents from Austin's increasingly expensive housing market and to prevent more people from becoming homeless. Austin is joining at least 28 U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, Chicago, and Pittsburgh, that have tried some form of guaranteed income. This idea came out of efforts to deal with, wake of the protests from police brutality and things like that, and this was one solution that was brought up. While final details are still to be determined, officials are working out how the program is going to work, and they're trying to figure out who can receive the money. One of their guiding, tenets is that these people who receive it can spend the money however they want, but they're hopeful that people will use it for household costs like rent, utilities, transportation, and groceries. And some of the guardrails that they are using include people who may have already had an eviction case filed against them, have had trouble paying utility bills, or people who are already experiencing homelessness. So I thought that this was interesting, right? Some people are like, well, you haven't told me how you're going to spend this money, and I don't know that we should do this, and blah, 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 blah. And another thing about this that some people got all, hot in the pants about is that this is a taxpayer-funded thing versus like a grant-funded thing.
Sure.
But, I think it's worth a try, right? Like, it can't hurt. If we're not going to attack the real issue, which is, people jacking up prices for no reason,
right,
financially supporting people is a good step.
Yeah, I love the fact that people are pissed about this, but they're perfectly okay with someone like Elon Musk having, $900 billion and, not doing a goddamn thing to help anybody and avoiding paying taxes. Pays less fucking taxes than I do, for fuck's sake. So, I get mad at the wrong people. Anyway, this is a good story. I don't want to get mad about this. I think this is great. Like, when I read through some of the comments, I think I got this link off of Reddit. And when I was reading through that, there's a lot of people who were kind of trashing it a little bit and saying, oh, well, it's just 85 people. 85 people are going to get this. Well, that's 85 people who might not lose their house. There's 85 people that might not be living on the street. That's 85 people who might be able to feed their kids, right? Like, that's a big thing. And you got to start somewhere, right? Like, this is a good thing to try, help people out. Like, there's a whole lot of haves and have-nots in our country, in our society. And we shouldn't have that. Like, that's my personal belief, is we shouldn't have that. So let's help people out. I think this is a great thing, and there's been another number of different cities that have done certain things like this to try to help close that gap or give people a little bit of a helping hand when they need that, and I think it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, you got to start somewhere. If you can prove and show that this is something that's working and that it's helpful and that it's useful for people, like, that is something that is good. So, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, there's a lot in play, but I think it's worth at least calling out, because the more of these programs that work, that gives opportunity on both sides to either expand those type of programs or to push back on these folks that are, raising prices and saying, look, like, instead of us just giving these people money, like, y'all need to, like, figure this out. Yeah. And, I want to go back to one of the things you said, which is, if we're not going to actually fix the problem, like, that's what we need to do, right? Like, a big reason that this is an issue is just the way that this system is put together, right? The fact that, houses are bought up by corporations, and corporations rent these out to people, and they raise the rent every single freaking year. Like, and you've got so many people that are stuck in the same conundrum, right? It's like, I'm paying $1,500 a month for rent. I want to buy a house that's going to cost me $1,000 a month in the mortgage, and the bank isn't giving me a loan because they're saying I can't afford $1,000 a month. Motherfucker, I'm paying $1,500 a month right now. What are you talking about? I can't afford $1,000 a month. And this is it's perpetuating, right? It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to take care of too. But at least we're lending a helping hand, so that's good. We are. Cool.
I'm a spinning the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, we're tracking people online, B? What the hell are we doing?
I almost wanted to start singing a Brad Paisley song, but that has nothing to do with online tracking. All right. As states continue to making sure that I'm not muted because, that would be something that I do. As states continue to restrict women's reproductive rights, technology lawyers and scholars are sending out a reminder that a woman's digital footprint risks becoming a dangerous weapon in the escalating U.S. abortion wars. Be it location data, social media posts, or search histories, online records will carry greater risk if women lose their constitutional right to abortion, researchers say. Anti-abortion groups could use data to target pregnant women with ads as they go to health clinics. Private companies could sell a pregnant woman's location data, valuable insight into the ever-increasing number of states that are taking steps to ban abortions. And law enforcement officials could pore over search histories to mount a prosecution case. And all of these things could happen without a woman's knowledge or consent if that information is shared online. So, for those of you who do not know, this is one of Skonzii's passion points. That was actually pretty good. I like that.
That wasn't bad.
But
I like it. Yeah.
this is one of the areas that Skonzii is really passionate about. So, digital identity, digital privacy, making sure that you're not sharing all of this information. But these are really concrete ways of how someone could take advantage of a person's posts and legalize that against them.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about privacy, right, on this this podcast. So I'm just gonna throw out the old trope that everybody kind of hears, right? Who hasn't done a Google search for something? Actually, let me just share a story, okay? Let me share a story. I don't know how many details I want to get into this, but a number of years.
You gotta give them now. You already said you were gonna share the story,
a number of years ago, a friend of mine was getting married, and I was responsible for planning the bachelor party. So as part of this, I was doing some Amazon searching for some very unique things. And let me just say that it caught me entirely by surprise when I was scrolling through my Facebook feed and saw a blow-up doll. And I said, what the fuck is going on? That shouldn't be here. And I was like, oh, it's because I was looking for stupid stuff on Amazon. That makes sense. So everybody's had a story like that, right? Maybe not with the blow-up doll, but with something similar. And
I mean, everybody needs an inflatable sheep. Come on now.
We did get a sheep, didn't we? Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's a different story for a different time. So like all your stuff is tracked, right? And so even I'm sure people have had those, hey, I just had a conversation with somebody and we weren't even on Facebook and we were in person and Facebook sent me an ad for it, right? Well, the thing is these companies have so much information. They know what you're going to do before you go and do it. It's kind of scary. They put pieces together like, oh, so you're looking for X, Y, and Z. Well, the people that look for X, Y, and Z are normally A. And so you are probably that A person. So we are going to give you ads for A people, right? So in this type of situation is maybe you're looking for, prenatal vitamins. That's a pretty obvious one. Or whatever, right? Like things like that. And all of a sudden they're going to say, oh shit, old man Wiggum's pregnant. Now we know that he's pregnant. And the problem is that people can get this information. People can get all this tracking information. They can put in requests with these companies and they can find stuff out. We're in a world right now where so much is being used against people. And it's in a situation, where, abortion is on the brink of potentially being illegal again. There are going to be a bunch of people who are going to be pushing to legislate, that are going to try to sue people, that are going to try to get people put in prison, maybe worse, right? So all of this stuff is... My stream died, by the way. I don't know what's going on there. It's trying to reconnect. But we're recording, so I'm just going to keep going.
That's worth.
Yeah, you can hear me in Discord.
I'm still here.
It's reconnect. I think it's reconnected now, so hopefully everybody's there. But
and if they are, they just saw my dance.
Yeah. So the stream did crash, but we should be back now. The point is that as you're doing regular, normal things as you would, right? You're on Facebook, or you're looking at articles. You're on the web looking at articles, or sending text messages to people. All of this information is being cataloged and tracked, and somebody has all of that information. So the thing to keep in mind is be as private as you possibly can be, right? So some of the things that I always tell people, use Signal for your messaging. Get everybody to switch to Signal. Don't use text messaging. Switch to Signal. Use a browser like Firefox that can help limit third-party tracking and help cut down on all of that stuff that's happening. Do these small things. Don't post shit on social media. I do that too. We all do that. I get it. But those are all things that are going to be tracked. So I ran my mouth for a long time, but the whole point is I know that I take things to kind of a weird dystopian angle, but we could end up there. For Christ's sake, we're not too far away. Don't be that person who, oh, I did that one web search and now all of a sudden, the anti-abortion police are at my door kicking it down. Like don't let that happen to you. So just be safe, yo.
Be safe. That's the key. Let's spin the wheel.
My light is super, super bright.
I was gonna say all of a sudden it got very dark.
All right, we're talking
again.
about low-income internet. This is another good story helping people out, B.
All right, well, President Joe Biden has announced that 20 of the nation's internet providers have committed to lowering costs for low-income households. This is a step by the administration to increase access to high-speed internet for 48 million households nationwide. The Biden administration's Affordable Connectivity Program slashes internet service fees for eligible families by up to $30 a month through grant funding. To qualify for the program, a member of a household must meet certain low-income criteria, including participation in one of the nation's assistance programs such as SNAP, Medicaid, or free and reduced lunch, or receiving Pell Grants through the FAFSA. So, an estimated 11.5 million households have signed up to participate in the plan to date. So, I thought that this was really cool. For me, I come at this from an educational lens, right? We have a lot of low-income, first-generation students. They or their families may not necessarily be able to afford reliable internet, which may be needed to complete their studies because, global pandemic made a lot of stuff go online, right? So this is, I think, a really good step. Now it also, in the selfish way makes me wonder, why is Time Warner going to charge me $80 a month for internet? But, I'm glad that this is happening for those who need it.
Yeah, for sure. The stream keeps crashing. I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to take a look and see. I don't know what's going on. My bit rate is being really stupid. Lots of technical difficulties, but we're recording it locally, so we'll be able to push this out after the fact. I've been trying to do all these things all of the time. I wasn't even paying attention to what we were talking about. Low-income internet. Yeah, so here's my thoughts, is that we live in a society where almost everything is internet-based, right? So much of what we do is internet-based. Your banking's online. You can do shopping online. You can, your kid's school is going to send you emails on stuff. Everything is pretty much online. So being online and internet access, it's really a utility at this point. Everybody needs to be online. It doesn't mean that everybody needs a gigabit frickin' pipe to their house, right? But they need to be able to get online and be able to do that type of stuff. So yeah, I think this is a good idea. I think this is great, and I'm hopeful that this goes through and that we're able to put this into play because, getting more people the internet, access to the internet, I think is a great thing.
Agreed.
Cool. We spinning again?
Sure are.
On the last 2 times we spun, my internet died, so we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
We're going to talk about balls, B.
Oh, we're going to talk about Major League Baseball and their balls.
That's right.
All right. A hot topic 1 month into the MLB season is what MLB has done to the baseball being used and how it is impacting the on-field product. Now, we've talked about this before on this podcast, but we're going to talk about it again because that's what we do. We random. So, MLB teams have averaged 4 runs per game for the month of April, which is the lowest average of runs per month since 1981 and 0.26 runs per team per game fewer than just a season ago. The league batting average of 231, not 220, not 220, 231.
It's pretty close,
was the
though.
lowest through April in MLB history, and the 675 OPS was the lowest since 1968. So the decline of batting average is nothing new in baseball, but it's baseball's home run rate that has fallen off that has stifled offense this year. Just 36% of runs in April came via home runs, which is the lowest total through April since 2015. So one of the biggest changes is that for the first time this year, all 30 teams are using a humidor to store their baseballs, which makes Skonzii very sad because those humidors could really be used instead to store cigars.
That's right. It should be.
But this is up from 10 teams in 2021. The humidors make a ball more uniform by standardizing the amount of water in the air around the baseball. ESPN's reporting says that there has been a big difference in the runs and changes in offense in the 20 stadiums that have added the humidor this season versus the 10 who had it in previous seasons. So basically, to kind of make this very palatable is to say that scoring is down, and there's lots of kind of hand-wringing and concern from players and media members and things like that about how changes to the actual baseball, the use of the humidors, things like that are fundamentally changing the game. There's been several players who are like shocked that they'll hit a ball that they expect to be a home run, and it's like a can of corn on the warning track at this point where it's just a long, loud out. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this one, Skonzii?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting one. I'm trying to make it a little darker on my thing. Yeah, this is interesting, and I don't want to get too in the weeds on the numbers, but when I was looking at those, there's a really dramatic, like when you look at the stadiums that had the humidors before, that weren't full of cigars, even though they should have been, it's pretty much even to what it's been in the past. Like, well, last year, right? They compared last year to this year. It's pretty much a wash. Like, it's pretty close. And then when you look at the stadiums that added a humidor this year, it's a huge difference. So just to give you one specific number, runs per game, the difference in runs per game last year to this year. For stadiums that had the humidor last year, it's negative 0.01 run. That's the difference. It's basically nothing. For the new stadiums, it's negative 0.35. Like, that's a pretty significant difference, right? So what that tells me is that, well, here's the interesting thing, right? So first of all, it's being more uniform, I think is what you're saying. But the very interesting thing is, like, Colorado had the humidor before. And you still hit home runs out of there like crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting, and obviously players are going to pitch a fit, right? Because, you know, if it's a contract year, I need to make my money. If I only hit 12 bombs instead of 27 bombs this year, and that's going to impact my earnings, right? So they're obviously going to.
Right.
Nobody complained 3 years ago when they juiced the ball so much that it was leaking juice as it flew out the fucking stadium. Nobody cared about that. We're okay with that. But as soon as it starts to dip a little bit,
but
he should have. He should have. So yeah. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. It'll be kind of an interesting thing to watch. But there's always a little bit of fluctuation here and there, and I think it's very interesting that there is one thing that you can kind of point to that may have pretty legitimate impact on it.
yeah, I mean, it's the humidor thing, and then apparently they changed the composition of the baseball, which it seems like, and again, trying not to get way too deep in the numbers, but from what I was reading, the thing that's like this hot topic in baseball, like launch angle, like, okay, so what is the angle of the ball as it leaves the bat? Like, launch angle has become more important as to where in the past, like, you would see those, like, you know, teardrop, like home runs, and now it's like you basically got to hit this thing straight on the line or it ain't getting out of here.
Dude, it's crazy how much, like, I'm a purist, and maybe that's the wrong word to use because I think a lot of people would say old fuddy-dud, but like, I love the simplicity of old school baseball, like in the 50s and 60s, where it's like you get out there, someone throws the ball, you try to hit the ball, right? Like, one of the greatest quotes I ever heard was from Frank Robinson, a Hall of Famer, who said, I knew every time I went in there against Don Drysdale, he was going to throw at me. every single time it didn't matter, right? Like, should you be throwing at people? We can argue that a different day. But it's just the simplicity of baseball. And today, like, everything is overanalyzed and broken down to some number. I mean, they had somebody in here, actually right here, there's a player, I don't know who it was. There was one in Minnesota where I hit like 106 at 29 degrees, got caught out of track. That should be a no doubt home run. Like, what? Like this is what you were, like, this is what they're talking about. Oh man, I hit it at 106.29, that should have been a home run. Like, I just don't understand this game anymore, but what do I know? Just a grumpy old man, get off my lawn.
As you were talking about, if we could hit people, we should legislate that another day. I remember a previous podcast episode where we talked about some dude. Oh, it was the thing where he like stole the card, and you were like, "I would have hit the next 9 batters."
I know, everybody got very mad at me. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's right, Micah. Back in my day, you could throw at a fella if he was crowding the plate. Speaking of new age stuff, B, what's going on in college football?
College football. Well, people are getting paid, Skonzii. Do you like it when people get paid?
Heck yeah, everybody should get paid.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about college football, where David Ubben wrote an article in The Athletic discussing the current state of college football. The recent name, image, and likeness legislation that has allowed players to seek out endorsement deals using their name, likeness, and image has opened up the option for players to be paid for their intellectual property. A new game changer that has come into play is called collectives, which is a company or group funded by school alumni who pool together their funds to compensate players and woo them to specific universities. Ubben says that while college football is changing, it is not the end of college football. So college football instead is having a financial renaissance, which is a rebirth that it should have had a long time ago, as it sheds a skin that it never should have had or should have escaped long ago. So basically, what this guy is like opining on, and he did like a 47 paragraph like article to basically say, hey, I think it's fine that people are getting paid now, and like these collectives aren't going to break college football, because in reality, like, this was already happening. It was just happening in the dark. Like, let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, Reggie Bush got paid, but Reggie Bush got paid on a side. Like, now USC's just gonna have all them rich people come out and say, look, you come to USC, you could get paid for this endorsement deal for, Vitamix or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and there are a lot of the old school, purists who would say that this is ruining college football and blah, 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 blah. And there was a previous, like in the NFL draft, there was a guy who everybody thought that was going to get drafted, and then like he didn't get drafted. And they were like, see, like he's the perfect example as to why, name, image, and likeness should have happened sooner, because now he could lose out on millions of dollars that he could have got while he was in college, because he was like one of his team's best players, right? So, I don't, like, there's two sides to this. The one side, a lot of people say academic integrity, blah, 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 blah. On the other side, do you know how much money these universities are churning out with cash on cash on cash for sports? Like, I feel like these players should be compensated for their services. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I remember reading a story ages and ages ago about the economic impact that Peyton Manning had on, Knoxville, Tennessee. And I don't remember the number, but it was something like $30 million a game or something that the area brought in. And it's because of Peyton Manning, right? Like, there's other people on the team, but it's because of Peyton Manning. And he didn't see a nickel of that. And obviously things worked out fine for him. He went to the NFL and made a shit ton of money. But yeah, like, to your point, college football makes a crap ton of money. And I understand the academic integrity thing. I think you just really double down on making sure that people are actually going to school. That's kind of how you're wrapping around this whole thing, which it kind of is still, right? Just make sure that people are actually going to class, that they're actually doing their work, et cetera, et cetera. Going back to the purist point that you made, like, I do kind of like the old school kind of thing, but let's be honest, college football lately is kind of garbage in a way. Like, it's kind of like Major League Baseball. It's like you got 4 teams that have a chance to win, and everybody else just pretends they have a chance to win. That's kind of how it is. And I will admit readily that I am incredibly biased in my opinion, because my Nebraska Cornhuskers have been complete trash for like 10 or 15 or 20 years. And they pulled in a bunch of players because of this NIL stuff, right? Because people love Nebraska football. And so a bunch of people, you know, however they got the money together, they were able to bring in a bunch of people, including, from a bunch of reports, the number 1 person available in the transfer portal. So obviously I'm biased, and I think that's great because maybe Nebraska won't be asked this year. But on the flip side is, how long is it going to take before the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Clemsons have, you know, 17 times as much money in their NIL bank coffers than anybody else, right? It's just, I think that long term, what this could very well do is shift the balance of power back to those big schools, and it's just going to be basically MLB all over again. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
Yeah, and that I think kind of was the point about the collectives, right? Where it's like for these universities who have very rich kind of benefactors, like they can put together this thing and say, oh, here's our company, and we're going to have you endorse this product, and now you can come play for Alabama, Georgia, you know, Tennessee, whatever.
Well, you look at the close ties that, Phil Knight has in Oregon, right? Like, he dumped so much money into that program to begin with. I mean, and who wouldn't want to be a poster boy or poster person for Nike? Like, now all of a sudden you got a reason to, like, he can just say, hey, here's a $10 million contract to come and play at Oregon, and you can be a Nike commercial person. Like,
right, you're going to have your own line of shoes or whatever.
Right.
You're going to have, you know, the jersey, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how it plays out. Just, you know, let these guys come in and give me one more national title before it all goes to shit. I'll be okay.
Sounds good. So do we want to do one more? Do we want to move to random rankings? Because it's probably going to be another long one.
Yeah, you know, we've got one that I think is kind of positive and one that I'm just going to get super pissed at. So I say we do
random rankings. All right. Well, look at us. We didn't really even get that mad online this week. But
we didn't.
What we're going to do is we are going to continue the Birthday Bonanza Bracket Part 2. So, if you were with us last week, we went through this random bracket that was created by having celebrity birthdays as teams of 5 people. And then we compared those 5 teams and we said, hey, who would we rather spend one night of whatever we want to do with? Whether that's party, whether that's hang out, whether that's just have dinner, whatever we want to do with these people, we just compared it and we said, who would we want to hang out with more? So, Skonzii, I know that you had said I think we missed some, so we got to circle back and then continue.
Yes. Sorry for everybody who just crashed again. Looks like it's reconnecting, and it should be back now. I don't know what's going on. I'll figure it out. I'm guessing it's my internet that's being stupid, because everything worked fine on Saturday when we tested this. So, all right. Yeah, there was a couple that we missed. So let me scroll down here. Hopefully you can see this a little bit better. I know the colors are a little bit odd. We need to do August 3rd. So I was dealing with the stream crashing again. Did you give us a good explanation?
I think so.
Okay, good.
I don't know.
All right, so which of these groups would we want to hang out with? So August 3rd, do you want to read off the names?
August 3rd is Tom Brady, Martha Stewart, Martin Sheen, Ryan Lochte, and Todd Gurley.
And then December 18th.
And December 18th is Brad Pitt, Steven Spielberg, DMX, Joseph Stalin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, I feel like Stalin pretty much ruins it automatically. Like, I don't know. Like, I think you have to default to August 3rd.
But it's DMX and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, I'm going August 3rd. I don't want anything to do with Stalin.
I'm going to make the chat decide, because that's a good test to see if this thing is going to crash or not.
All right. Oh, man, Wiggum voted for 316. That wasn't on the group. I know that was joking. I know he means Stone Cold. So we got one for which one was Stone Cold? Was December, right?
December 18th.
Emily wants to hang out with Martha Stewart. We got a tie. Anybody else got a vote? Who do you want to hang out with? Tom Brady, Martha Stewart, Martin Sheen, Ryan Lochte, who's kind of a dick, Todd Gurley. Or we got Brad Pitt, Steven Spielberg, DMX, Joseph Stalin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. We might have to flip a coin.
Yeah.
All right, heads is August. I'm letting Google flip it. It was tails. So tails is December. So Stone Cold wins. Good luck with Joseph Stalin there, guys.
Right.
All right, we've got February 21st, which is automatically going to lose. I'm just throwing it out there. Automatically going to lose.
Why is this going to lose? So we've got Sophie Turner, Jordan Pell, Alan Rickman, Nima Simone, and Riyad Mahrez. Why is this going to lose? I don't know.
Because they're going against January 8th.
All right, so January 8th is Elvis Presley, David Bowie, Stephen Hawking, Rey Mysterio, and David Silva.
Right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's,
right. Yep. Oh, it's done.
All you really needed was Elvis, and then it's done, as far as I'm concerned. But
Elvis and David Bowie. That's a party.
Yeah. Emily said February. Wow. Okay. We've got September the 5th.
All right, September the 5th is Freddie Mercury, Werner Herzog, Michael Keaton, Bob Newhart, and Raquel Welch.
And that is going against July 9. Oh.
We got July 9th is Fred Savage, Kelly McGillis, Jimmy Smits, Brian Dennehy, and Tom Hanks. Ooh.
Like, I
don't have a strong feel for either of these groups.
I think Old Man Wiggum loves some Bob Newhart. I think I'm going with Freddie Mercury and Raquel Welch. September 5th.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right, September 5th. Verify the winner, September 5th. All right. September 17.
All right, September 17th is Patrick Mahomes, Phil Jackson, Alex Ovechkin, Jimmy Johnson, and Kyle Chandler.
I don't know who that is. That's some serious sports people.
I wonder which Jimmy Johnson that is, if that's the coach or like the NASCAR driver.
That's a good point. I'm going to look it up real quick. But first, read us July 12th.
All right, so July 12th is Brock Lesnar, Henry David Thoreau, Charlie Murphy, Richard Simmons, and I don't even know who that is. Malala?
Yeah, I don't know. By the way, it is the NASCAR driver, Jimmy Johnson.
All right.
That, hoofda.
I want to hang out with Cowboy Brock.
I'm going with the other group.
Okay.
I'm going with the other group, so I'm going with the first group. Chat, what do you think?
Patrick Mahomes, Phil Jackson, Alex Ovechkin.
I'm a Jimmy Johnson fan. I kind of like Jimmy Johnson. Old Man Wiggum is all in on Jimmy Johnson. I didn't know he was a NASCAR fan. Chat, this one's up to you. What do you think? Pat. Who's Pat?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes. Wait, is there another JJ? Oh, he likes both JJs. Gotcha. All right, so looks like that one wins. So that is the first one, which was July, right?
All right.
No, that's the wrong one. It's September. All righty. October 10.
All right, so October 10th.
Oh, dang.
It's Brett Favre, Dale Earnhardt Jr., David Lee Roth, Tanya Tucker, and Mario Lopez.
That's a legit group. August 14.
August 14th, in comparison, brings us Mila Kunis, Halle Berry, Steve Martin, Tim Tebow, and Magic Johnson.
Dude, you could have stopped at the first two. I'm done. Mila, how do you pronounce it? Kunis and Halle Berry? Done. Let's party. Let's go. Let's go.
That was the group that I was like, Tim Tebow just gonna be in the corner with his Bible.
That's
and,
fine.
like, everybody else is gonna party.
That's fine.
I gotta go with August 14th, I think.
August 14th. All right. August 14th moves on.
That other group would just be a lot of drinking, I think.
I mean, you say it like it's a bad thing. July
No.
6th.
July 6th.
By the way, this is the
Zion-
last grouping, and then we will get to round 2.
All right, Zion Williamson, the Dalai Lama, Frida Kahlo, 50 Cent, and Dmitry Polakov, I guess that
Okay.
is.
And then we got June 24th.
June 24th is Mick Fleetwood, Lionel Messi, Mindy Kaling, Tiny Lister, and RoboCop.
Like-
Oh, man.
Was it like the
I gotta go with that
RoboCop?
one.
I'm going with the other one, so Chad, it's on you.
How you gonna go with Mindy Kaling, Debo, and RoboCop? Come on,
Because I
now.
got the chance to hang out with the Dalai Lama. I mean, like, that's all it comes down to for me.
I have a lot of questions. Number one is, how dare you?
Oh, Emily's all in on RoboCop. Wiggs has no idea. All right, we're going to give it a second. Need the names again. I know I should, I got to figure out a way that I can share this with you guys. Maybe I can do this. Let me do a window capture of my wonderful notepad here. I can't really zoom in on it, so hopefully you can read that. There we go. RoboCop wins. All right, RoboCop was which one though? I don't remember.
RoboCop was
June.
the.
All
Let
right.
me get back to the screen.
So June wins.
That one is. Where are we? June 24th.
So let's work our way back up. So we got June 24th, which is the RoboCop group, and then we got August 14, which wins in my book, hands down. That's the Mila Kunis, Halle Berry, Steve Martin, Tim Tebow, Magic Johnson. What do you think, B?
Uh-oh.
Are you disconnecting? Am I dying again? I think we lost B. Wiggs, can you still hear me in the Discord?
I can see you moving,
I will take his vote.
but I'm not moving.
All right, we're going to go ahead
Ooh,
and...
boy.
You hear me. All right, so it's B this time. We're going to go ahead and choose August because I think we're all on that same page. And then I'll get the people gathered up here. We got September 5. I wonder if I can copy all of that to make it a little easier.
What?
There we go. That'll work.
Oh dear.
September 5 and September 17.
Test 1 2.
I'm here. Are you here?
Hello.
We got no B.
Now do we have a B?
I don't know. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
Yep, we can hear you. All right, we
right.
could hear you the whole time, but you couldn't hear us. All right, we got September 5, Freddie Mercury, Warner
All right.
Herzog, Michael Keaton, Bob Newhart, Raquel Welch. September 17, Patrick Mahomes, Phil Jackson, Alex Ovechkin, Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR guy, and Kyle Chandler.
Oh.
I think I'm still going Freddie Mercury.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Freddie moves on. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a party. Bob Newhart.
Right.
I mean, really, it works out the same, but yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We've got Elvis. Elvis is running again. So we got
All right, so
January
that
the
is-
8th.
January 8th.
Go for it.
All right, January 8th and what?
August 21.
All right, August. Do you want me to read January 8th again?
If you want to. I've got them all up there so everybody can see it.
All right, cool.
I mean,
August 21st.
this is like the ultimate, how do I want to put this kindly? The ultimate bedroom competition. Because you got Elvis Presley versus Will Chamberlain.
I gotta go with Elvis.
Yep, I'm doing the same. I mean,
Elvis, David Bowie, and then like Rey Mysterio. Sure.
yeah. Hawkins in the bedroom. Well, you know. March 24. It's the Peyton Manning group.
Peyton Manning, The Undertaker, Harry Houdini, Chris Bosh, and Tommy Hilfiger.
And May 2.
May 2nd is Catherine the Great, Manfred the Red Baron, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, David Beckham, and Christine Baranski. Ooh. I remember you voted against. I feel like you voted against the Rock, and then the Rock won. Like,
Yeah, I'm going to vote against him again, I think.
I don't know if I'm misremembering that, but
The Rock versus Manning, I want both. I agree. That's. But I'm going with
let's
Peyton.
go with the Manning group.
All right. Can we just have Peyton do commercials the whole time? Because that would be pretty awesome. Wiggs was very happy that one won. July the 1st. Oh.
I first.
I remember this one.
That's your Pam Anderson group. All right. And who are they facing?
Oh, God. It's September 25.
Will Smith. Oh, it's the group where Will Smith's going to slap people.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're going Pam Anderson again?
I'm going Pam Anderson. Yeah, I think so. It's not a very strong group, though. Like, honestly, I'm surprised that she's won twice. Like, because the rest of that group is, like, Princess Diana, kind of cool, but, like, Missy Elliott, okay. Carl Lewis, okay. Plies, I don't even know what that is. So, like, she's not going to keep going, I don't think.
Okay.
March 6th. This is somebody who doesn't know how to use punctuation.
Shaq, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Michelangelo Tyler, the Creator, and Tammy Taylor herself, Connie Britton. Ooh.
And June 22nd.
All right, June 22nd is Chris Christopherson, Meryl Streep, Cyndi Lauper, John Dillinger, and Aaron Brockovich. How did this group make it to the second round?
I think I was pushing for Chris Christopherson. I'm not sure. And I remember somebody, I don't know if it was Wiggum, somebody said as long as there's not a bank around John, you'll be fine around John Dillinger. But I think Shaq wins this one.
Shaq wins, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just going to put this out here. Shaq is going to destroy Pam Anderson. As much as hanging out with Pam Anderson would be fun, you know, Shaq would just be fun in a different kind of way. January 19th.
January 19th is going to give us Dolly Parton, Paula Deen, Mac Midler, Little Scrappy, and Edgar Allan Poe.
February 20th.
February 20th is Rihanna, Angelica Schuler, Church Charles Barkley, Sidney Poitier, and Kurt Cobain.
Ooh.
I feel like that's one of the stronger groups, February 20th.
I think February 20th is the winner.
Yep.
Man, that's a tough group right there. Like, Rihanna's obviously super hot. Angelica Schuyler would just be fun from a history perspective. I don't know what the church thing is. Like, if it's the actual church, then that, like, automatically disqualifies it in my book. Charles Barkley would be fun. Sidney Poitier, the brilliance of that man. Kirk, like, that's a really, really strong group. That might be the winner. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. That one might win. I mean, win the whole thing. January 17.
All right, January 17th brings us Michelle Obama, Betty White, Muhammad Ali, Dwayne Wade, and Ben Franklin.
Nice. And then we've got December 18.
December 18th brings us
we just did this
Brad
one.
Pitt, Steven Spielberg, DMX, Joseph Stalin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, Joseph Stalin or Muhammad Ali. Let me think. I'm going January 17th. This is another really, really strong one, though.
Yeah, I think we got to go with January. I don't know. I want to hang out with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I know, Austin would be fun,
but
but I'm just thinking Muhammad Ali in his prime, the way that man would talk, like, that would be amazing.
Yeah, January 17th.
We're agreeing on quite a few of these. Betty White for the win. You know, I was never huge on Betty White, but I'm not going to hate on the lady.
All right, so we're about 10 and a half minutes into this one. How far do we want to keep
We still got a
going?
ways to go. We might as well finish it. Like, where are we at? We're at 54 minutes for the whole thing, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
Let's finish this guy out. May 13th.
All right, May 13th is Dennis Rodman, Stephen Colbert, Pusha T, Honey Badger, and Stevie Wonder.
The fuck is Honey Badger? December 28th.
December 28th is going to bring us Stan Lee, Denzel Washington, Maggie Smith, John Legend, and Seth Meyers.
Ooh, Dennis Rodman, Stephen Colbert, Stevie Wonder, Denzel. Oh my God. This is tough. B, I don't know.
I think I'm going to go with Dennis Rodman.
All right. I'll go with Stephen Colbert. Which is the same group, just for the record. Although Dennis Rodman would be a hell of a party.
Right.
July 24th. And yes, Wiggs, just finished this round.
All right. July 24th is Amelia Earhart, Zelda Fitzgerald, Barry Bonds, J-Lo, and Bindi Irwin.
And then August 9.
August 9th is going to bring us Whitney Houston, Deion Sanders, Sam Elliott, Gillian Anderson, and Anna Kendrick.
I'm pretty sure July 24th only advanced because of J-Lo all by herself.
Yeah, and I feel like you were gonna. I feel like the August one was up against somebody, but I think it was Gillian Anderson who saved that group.
Yes. Ellie pushed Gillian through.
Yeah. I'm going with that group again.
I'm going to as well. I want to hang out with Sam Elliott. He's a baller, man. J-Lo still wins for Old Man Wiggum. I mean, I get it. I get it. All right. July 2nd.
July 2nd brings us another group that doesn't know how to use caps. Thurgood Marshall, Johnny Weir, Jose Canseco, Dave Thomas, the Wendy's Guy, and Sylvia Rivera.
And then April 7th.
April 7th is going to bring us Jackie Chan, Tony Dorsett, Billie Holiday, Stan Winston, and Bill Bellamy.
Who coined the phrase booty call.
I'm going to go with Jackie Chan and Bill Bellamy.
Emily's calling us out. We're all something else tonight. You're going with Bill Bellamy? Is that what you said?
Jackie Chan and Bill Bellamy.
Ooh. I'm going with Johnny Weir. I still think that dude would be crazy as hell to party with. So, Chad, it's on you. What do you think? Old man says Sylvia Rivera. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on this one? Otherwise, we're leaning the way of July 2nd. Emily says Jackie Chan. We're deadlocked. I'm going to flip a coin unless anybody else has a thought. Flipping now. Somebody chimes in. I have more thoughts. I bet you do. Heads is going to be July 2nd, and it is heads.
All right.
So heads, July 2nd moves on.
All right.
All right, July 2nd, submit that score. And we got only a handful left. We'll be good.
right,
February, this is the battle of the 22nds. February 22nd.
Washington, George Washington, Steve Irwin, Julius Erving, Drew Barrymore, and Khalil Mack.
And November 22nd.
And that one is Rodney Dangerfield, Jamie Lee Curtis, Billie Jean King, Scarlett Johansson, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
I think, God, this is tough.
I got to go with November 22nd.
You know, just to bring some more ire from Emily, the reason November moved on for me was because, a young Jamie Lee Curtis and Scarlett Johansson. I'm just being honest, folks, okay? I'm just being honest. But I'm kind of drawn towards George Washington. I think that would be cool. And Steve Irwin, yeah, I'm going February.
Can't get no respect.
Wiggs is on the Steve Irwin train. Anybody else got a thought on this one?
I mean, this one you really can't go wrong, right?
No, they're both good. They're both good groups. Have a good night, Nick. Emily goes November. We're going to flip a coin. Heads is February, and it is tails. Rodney Dangerfield gets a little bit of respect.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Not really respect. He just won because of a coin flip. But still, we got two more groupings. So 4 more total competitions. October 13.
October 13th, you said?
Yes.
Jerry Rice, Jermaine O'Neal, Sammy Hagar, Ashanti, and AOC.
November 21.
November 21 is Ken Griffey Jr., Bjork, Troy Aikman, Nikki Bella, and Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh.
I still got to party with Ken Griffey Jr. and Carly Rae Jepsen.
You know, I'll give it to you because, yeah, I agree, Wiggs. These are both horrible. Like, they're going to lose to whoever they're going up against. I'm going to call it right now. We'll give it to November, but then I think I'm just going to move the next one automatically through. Let's see who's going to beat this group. November 3rd.
It definitely won't be Colin Kaepernick, Anna Wintour, Kendall Jenner, Charles Bronson, or Dolph Lundgren.
That's a good group. April the 4th.
What about April the 4th? What does April the 4th bring us, you ask? Well, Robert Downey Jr., Heath Ledger, Hugo Weaving, Maya Angelou, and David Cross.
I'm going April 4. Easy.
Yeah, I'm going to go April 4th.
And they are going to destroy that other group. Like, it's not even close.
I'm still going to vote for the other group, but the chat will vote for this group probably.
All right, the last 2 groupings. May 12th.
May 12th is going
Move
to
it
bring
on.
us
The first name is all you got to read, and it's done.
George Carlin, Yogi Berra, Tony Hawk, Ving Rhames, and Florence Nightingale.
And then December 30.
December 30th is going to bring us Tiger Woods, Sandy Koufax, LeBron James, Rudyard Kipling, and Tyrese.
I mean, Tyrese is pretty legit, but come on.
Yeah.
George Carlin.
Yep.
Yeah, George carries that group. And the final grouping is July 23rd.
All right, July of 23rd is going to bring us Woody Harrelson / Monica Lewinsky, Gary Payton, and Daniel Radcliffe.
And October 15.
October 15th brings us Emerald, Genuine, Tito Jackson, Mario Puzo, and Friedrich Nietzsche.
All right, the first thing I'm going to say is I'm not saying anything about Monica Lewinsky, so we're not going down that path. Ooh.
I still think we're going to get some food with Emerald, and we're going to sing Pony with Genuine.
I think I'm going to get high with Woody Harrelson, man. I think I got to do it. I
feel like that was your rationale last round too.
It was. But God, Emerald is like Nietzsche would be interesting, but confusing and irritating. Emerald would have good food. No, I'm going July. I gotta get high with Woody. I think that's the answer. Monica was treated very dirty. That's true. Welcome in, by the way, Mukau. Old Man Wiggum is going 723. Anybody else? Which of these groups would you want to hang out and party with? By the way, you should follow Monica Lewinsky on Twitter. She's got some good shit she puts out there. Like legit good stuff out there. As you can imagine, she has a very specific point of view around, how people are treated. No other thoughts? We going with July? Last chance? $23, except Nietzsche, which would be interesting. I agree, it would be interesting. Ellie, welcome in. Unfortunately, we just finished the roundup, but that's the last one. So next week we've got eight pairings that we need to go through. So we're getting close. We're getting close to finish this guy up. And the stream just disconnected again. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that thing. Let me throw a quick chat out here. There we go. I don't know if the chat worked. Oh, there it went. But it looks like we're back, and we're gonna move on. I don't know what's going on with the stream thing. We'll have to figure that out. But it's time for B's extra point.
So, those of you who may remember Forrest Gump once said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? So, Sunday, I was prepared to come on here and talk about my age redacted day that I had and how I had a great weekend with lots of people that I enjoy spending time with and doing things that we enjoy doing and talking about the good things in life. And then these last 48 hours have been one kick in the pants after another. So life really is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, but I really think that it's important to try to do what you can to make the most of every moment. Smell the flowers when you can, because sometimes life is going to smell like shit, and that's okay. You just have to acknowledge it, you have to understand it, and you have to do what you can to make it through it.
I was on mute. I agree with you, man. You know, life gives you ups and downs, and you got to roll with what you can get, right?
Yep.
So last week I said that I was going to read something that was going to probably make me super emotional, and it was pretty long. And then B thought I was going to talk about something different. So what do I talk about, B?
You talk about the thing that's going to make you cry because you didn't tell me what it was, and now I need to know.
Well, it's probably stupid. Can't see me. Thank you. This is about 10 years of this. Probably a lot of people are familiar with this. And if you're not, I want to introduce you to it because I love the hell out of this story. This is a story that showed up on Reddit. It's now 12 years ago. Is it true? Is it not true? Who knows? Like, you don't really know. But the message behind the story, I think, is good. And this person, what I'm looking at is a story that's like celebrating 10 years of this story. And they did a bunch of digging into it, and they weren't able to catch back up with the person, but it looks like there was a lot of follow-up from this person, which gives it some credibility, I suppose. Just for the record, I met Mukau Rich at Reddit, so it's either the greatest or the most horrible place ever. You can decide. But I'm going to read through the story because basically this was a post that asked, have you ever picked up a hitchhiker? This isn't really about picking up a hitchhiker. I mean, it kind of is, but it's kind of not. So I'm going to read the story. I'm probably going to get emotional. I'm going to try not to. And now that I say that I'm going to get emotional, I probably won't. But I think that the message in this story is great. So here we go. Just about every time I see someone, I stop. I kind of got out of the habit in the last couple of years, moved to a big city and all that. My girlfriend wasn't too stoked on the practice. Then some shit happened to me that changed me, and I'm back to offering rides habitually. If you would indulge me, it's a long story. It has almost nothing to do with hitchhiking other than it happened on a road. In the past year, I've had 3 instances of car trouble. A blowout on a freeway, a bunch of blown fuses, and an out-of-gas situation. All of them were while driving other people's cars, which for some reason makes it worse on an emotional level. It makes it worse on a practical level as well, what with the fact that I carry things like a jack and extra fuses in my car, and I know enough not to park facing downhill on a steep incline with less than a gallon of fuel. Anyway, each of these times this shit happened, I was disgusted with how people would not bother to help me. I spent hours on the side of the freeway waiting, watching roadside assistance vehicles blow past me for AAA to show up. The 4 gas stations I asked for gas can told me that they couldn't loan them out, quote, for safety reasons or for my safety, but I could buy a really shitty 1-gallon one with no cap for $15. It was enough each time to make you say shit like, this country is going to hell in a handbasket. But you know who came to my rescue all 3 times? Immigrants. Mexican immigrants. None of them spoke a lick of the language, but one of those dudes had a profound effect on me. He was the guy to stop and help me with the blowout with his whole family of 6 in tow. I was on the side of the road for close to 4 hours. Big Jeep, blown rear tire, had a spare but no jack. I had signs in the window of the car, big signs that read, need a jack, and I offered money. No dice. Right as I'm about to give up and hitch out of there, a van pulls over and dude bounds out. He sizes the situation up and calls for his youngest daughter, who speaks English. He conveys through her that he has a jack, but it's too small for the Jeep, so we'll need to brace it. He produces a saw from the van and cuts a log out of a downed tree on the side of the road. We rolled it over, put his jack on top, and bam, we're in business. I start taking the wheel off, and if you can believe it, I broke his tire iron. It was one of those collapsible ones, and I wasn't careful, and I snapped the head I needed clean off. Fuck. No worries, he runs to the van, gives it to his wife, and she's gone in a flash down the road to buy a tire iron. She's back in 15 minutes. We finished the job with a little sweat and cussing. The stupid log was starting to give, and I'm a very happy man. We're both filthy and sweaty. The wife produces a large water jug for us to wash our hands in. I tried to put a 20 in the man's hand, but he wouldn't take it, so I instead gave it to his wife as quietly as I could. I thanked them up one side and down the other. I asked the little girl where they lived, thinking maybe I could send them a gift for being so awesome. She says they live in Mexico. They are here so Mommy and Daddy can pick peaches for the next few weeks. And after that, they're going to pick cherries, then go back home. She asked if I've had lunch, and when I told her no, she gave me a tamale from the cooler. The best fucking tamale I've ever had. So to clarify, a family that is undoubtedly poorer than you and me and just about everybody else on that stretch of road, working on a seasonal basis where time is money, took an hour or two out of their day to help some strange dude on the side of the road when people in tow trucks were just passing me by. But we aren't done yet. I thanked them again and walked back to my car and opened the foil on the tamale because I'm starving at this point. And what do I find inside? My fucking $20 bill. I whirl around and run up to the van, and the guy rolls his window down. He sees the $20 in my hand and just shaking his head no, like he won't take it. All I can think to say is por favor, por favor, por favor, with my hands out. Dude just smiles, shakes his head, and with what looked like great concentration, tried his hardest to speak to me in English. Today you, tomorrow me. He rolled up his window, drove away, his daughter waving to me in the rear view. I sat in my car, eating the best fucking tamale of all time, and I just cried, like a little girl. It has been a rough year and nothing has broke my way. This was so out of left field I just couldn't deal. In the 5 months since, I have changed a couple tires, given a few rides to gas stations, and once went 50 miles out of my way to get a girl to an airport. I won't accept money. Every time I tell them the same thing when we are through. Today you, tomorrow me. And then he's got a little bit of a TLDR there. So I did get a little emotional. I'm sorry about that. But I think this story ties in so much with the message that we try to share here on the podcast. So much of what I'm trying to do with my life is you have to give. You know, there's so many people that are struggling, and we have so many opportunities to share and to help and to have our voices heard, whatever it takes. And then so much of our society is just very, very selfish and worried about me. And I think we need to change some of that. So I stumbled onto this. I like to go back and read this every time it comes to mind because it makes me bawl every single time. And I stumbled onto it last week, and I thought that I wanted to share it with everybody. So that's what I got. V, you want to wrap us up?
That is a great way to end the podcast. So, if you would like to give Skonzii feedback on that, you can find him on Twitter at Skonzii. As always, you can find him on Amazon Sidewalk. You can find me on Twitter at LandmarkMKE. You can find the podcast AQ_PROD. You can find this in your favorite podcast app. You can find Skonzii on YouTube and Twitch and Glimesh and anywhere that podcasts are sold. So Skonzii is everywhere for you. So make sure that you hit us up. Thank you for spending your time with us today. We appreciate you. We appreciate your ears. We appreciate your eyes. We appreciate your thoughts. So thank you for being with us today. And do you have any closing words for the people tonight, Skonzii?
Nope. I got nothing. I gave it all already.
All right. So we'll leave that. Today you, tomorrow me. We love you. Thank you. Have a good night. See you later.
Peace.
And keep it positive.